Dale Shoemaker is here to break this down for us tonight. So you've been all over this wage theft story, and it's more ubiquitous than people might think. There are lots of cases of this. And basically, the state legislature said, this is a serious crime. We need to up the penalties, but it doesn't seem like in a practical way that's happening.
Yeah, so a couple months ago, I reported on just how widespread this issue of wage theft is. We're talking thousands of cases across the state every single year. And so I wanted to know, because in the process of reporting that story, we learned that, like you said, the law changed in September of 2023 to make wage theft felony larceny, meaning that if your employer withholds pay or benefits equal to $1,000 or more from you, that can be prosecuted as a felony theft. So we sent in FOIL requests to all of the district attorneys in Western New York, from Allegheny County to Erie County, Niagara, Orleans, all 8 counties, and every single one of them said, we have no records to provide to you because we have not done any of those prosecutions.
In terms of the why, I mean, obviously this is still relatively new, but it has been on the books now for, what, more than a year and a half. Mm-hmm. Do you get the sense that this trend will change, or are these DAs not really commenting? Well,
so we talked to Erie County District Attorney Mike Keene, and he says that basically nobody has come to us and said, please prosecute this as theft. Now, I talked to one labor attorney who thinks that's kind of a flimsy excuse. Now, the Labor Department tells me that they have been referring cases for criminal prosecution to district attorneys. They've referred 19 cases so far to other DAs, none in Western New York so far. And I got the sense from what they told me that those represent cases that the DAs think they can win. So, and this kind of tracks with what the labor attorney told me as well, that they're really looking for maybe not the flashiest cases, but they're looking for really solid cases that they can win. And so if the Labor Department isn't recommending them and people aren't being proactive in finding these cases themselves, they're not really getting to that level of saying, okay, this is a case that we can win. But that doesn't mean that there aren't cases out there. Like you mentioned, we identified about a dozen cases since the law changed that could have met this threshold of felony wage theft that the DAs around here haven't pursued.
Part of this could be public education too, right? If I'm a victim of wage theft and maybe you think this is something that you talk to the state labor department about, but you don't think about criminal charges, as people learn that, perhaps they go to the local DA and say, hey, I want this case prosecuted.
Yeah, that's one of the things the experts say, is they say, maybe this is education based. They say, okay, a worker might know you can file a claim with the federal labor department or the state labor department. You might not know that you can go to the cops about this. You can file a police report. You can go to the DA and say, my employer hasn't paid me overtime. My employer hasn't been paying me the tips they owe me, etc. However, the labor attorney has a little bit of a cynical view too on this, saying that, DAs, they like flashy cases with perp walks, the famous case of somebody in handcuffs getting marched down the court hallway. Yeah. You don't always get that in these cases, because sometimes the owner of a business is not the one doing the wage theft. It might be a middle manager. And how do you figure out the various levels of LLCs, like who actually owns the company, who actually is in charge of paying these wages? So these cases can be a little more complicated, but the DAs say that they will continue working with the Labor Department, and maybe we'll see cases in the future.
All right, we'll keep following it. Go to investigativepost.org to read more about this. Dale, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.